Hello and welcome to Rice Eyes YouTube channel. My name is Debuto Shah, and in today's deep analysis video, we are going to cover this article of the Hindu newspaper. The title of the article is New and Raw. The article surfaced into today's Hindu newspaper, that is of 10th of June. Next, what is this article all about? The article is about India-Nepal relation. Yesterday we have covered India-Bangladesh, and today we will cover India-Nepal. From the same perspective that our GS preparation or the static knowledge or the classroom knowledge is base, above which this article will help you to holistically understand the situation and make you current updated, so that any question be on India Bangladesh like yesterday, be on today's India Nepal, you will able to manage swiftly and score above than the average number. Okay. And the last thing, I would also request you all to also see the video of India Bangladesh to get a holistic picture of India and its neighborhood policy. Now, the next part, all the important things which are mentioned in the article, we have collected all the facts and summed up a entire article which would only and only be for UPSC CSE aspirants. And at the same point of time, it will somewhere again help us in the core logic, that it will keep us current updated and build a critical thinking or a critical understanding about India Nepal relation. Okay, moving on to the direct content, to our Rice IS content. First, before moving, we would see, like always we do, a UPSC mains model question. The question states, India and Nepal shares a unique relationship rooted in history, culture, geography and economic interdependency. However, recent political developments have exposed several faults in the lines in bilateral ties. Discuss the major challenges in India-Nepal relation and suggest measures to strengthen the partnership. 15 marks. From this article, the next big thing would be to understand where this article will help me. This article will help me in GS paper 2 IR. The next thing, yesterday's article and today's article, yesterday's article on India Bangladesh and today's article on India Nepal is somewhere intrinsically linked, as both the country is somewhere going through a political changes or a managing politics, a political transition. In the case of Bangladesh, it can be seen as a revolution or a civil revolt or a civil revolution. In this case, in the case of Nepal, we get to see a Gen Z revolution, Gen Z led revolution. Okay. So once the all the background understanding is done, let's now have a brief understanding of the context so that we can directly dive into introduction. Nepal's recent political transition has not improved bilateral ties, with border dispute and geopolitical competition and trust deficit, which is again continuing to strain our relation. This is the core idea of this article. And we will also discuss way forward about how these things can be developed or these things can be turned around in a positive sense. Next, introduction. Therefore, India and Nepal share a deep historical, cultural and strategic tie between recent political territorial issue, but recent political and territorial issue have created new diplomatic challenges. A fair introduction of what we are going to discuss today. Next thing is, these kind of territorial issue or diplomatic challenges was very much normal in historical terms also. No, that we will see in historical evolution of India-Nepal relation. The first is, we have ancient civilizational cultural tie where shared Hindu-Buddhist heritage, pilgrimage network, people to people link from foundation to bilateral nations relations. Next, Janakpur or Ayodhya connection symbolizes the shared Ramayana heritage, and Pashupatinath Temple and Lumbini Kushinagar Buddhist Circuit reinforces the cultural bond between the two nations. Next, we move on to Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1950. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1950 institutionalized and open borders, economic cooperation and security collaboration between the two nations. Democratic transition and political flux, where Nepal transitioned from monarchy to democracy, introduced a periodic instability affecting the bilateral ties between the two nations. From this phase, we get to see somewhere ups and downs between India and Nepal relation. The next, the golden phase again, post the ancient time, period of enhanced cooperation. The decade of 2014 to 2024 decade witnessed a major advance in connectivity, infrastructure, energy, and economic cooperation. Here, your static knowledge about the time period of this time, the political tenure of Nepal during this time, or the political leadership of this time, will help you to reconnect the facts which are written over here. And the last, strategic recalibration after political transition or the political turmoil. The emergence of new political actors have introduced fresh sensitivities into India-Nepal relation that we will see in today's discussion detailed wise. Next heading would be, what is the significance of strong India relation? How it is going to help India, specifically India, and keeping in mind the broader two nation. It will help us in strategic and security importance, where Nepal Himalaya location makes a it vitals for India in the northern security and the regional stability. The next would be importance for neighborhood first policy, where strong ties with Nepal are central to India's neighborhood diplomacy. Third would be connectivity and regional integration, where we see Nepal acts as a key bridge for regional connectivity and South Asian integration. Fourth would be, because of Himalayas, we have water and energy security attached to it, where we get to see hydropower and river cooperation contribution to long-term energy and resource security, which also somewhere points out to economic significance. India is Nepal's largest trade transit partner. And at last, not to forget, people to people relation, the cultural tie between the two nations. Nearly 6 million Nepalis live and work in India under the open border framework. This is the actual significance of a neighbor like Nepal. Therefore, when there is so much significance, there are multiple areas of cooperation also. The first is trade and economic cooperation, where bilateral trade promotes economic growth for both the nation, employment in both the nation, and market integration for both the nation. Which leads us to the next point, development partnership, where India supports Nepal through multiple infrastructure projects, development assistance, and capacity building, which in return help us in energy cooperation. As most of the river is flowing from Nepal to India, hydropower projects and cross-border electricity trade have become major pillar of cooperation, where from one side river is flowing, on the other side we see transition of electricity or transfer of energy. Next would be connectivity cooperation. Projects like Janakpur Kurta Railway and Motihari pipeline and integrated checkpost somewhere enhance the connectivity between two nations. And not to forget defense and security cooperation, where we have done multiple exercises with Nepal. One such is Surya Kiran exercise. Intelligence sharing is also done, and honorary general tradition of strengthening defense tie is also done continuously, where we see multiple areas of sharing soldiers. Gurkha, the regiment Gurkha, is inspired from Nepali tradition. Therefore, we see a defense and security cooperation. Now, there are some friction which the article itself recognizes. So what are the key areas of friction? The first is territorial dispute and rising nationalism among the Nepalis. We see Kalapani Lipulekh dispute remains most sensitive issue in the bilateral relationship. Again, what is Kalapani Lipulekh issue that you will get to understand through your static classes. You will connect this to your GS classes and be updated with it. Next would be debate over the 1950 treaty. As we are speaking about the India Nepal significance, mostly we have covered that we had a quite happy memory about 1950 treaty. That is not the case, as Nepal demands to revise that treaty, which treaty reflects concern over sovereignty and strategic autonomy as perceived by the Nepali citizens. The next would be constitutional and political sensitivities, where we have seen 2015 constitutional controversy and Madhasi issue created a lasting trust deficit, where we see people to people connect tie as a significance between India and Nepal relation. We also see a Madhasi issue where territory and people residing over there somewhere links or lead to a trust deficit between the two nations. And not to forget, expanding among all this, expanding influence of Chinese influence. China is growing its presence in Nepal through BRI Build and Road Initiative project and has intensified geopolitical competition in Nepal. The fifth would be economy asymmetry. Though we are recognizing that we have a we are huge trading partner of Nepal, but Nepal perceives it as Nepal's trade deficit and dependency on India, transit routes, fuel perception, unequal relation. The second last would be water and resource sharing dispute. Disagreement over benefit sharing continues to delay the project as of Pancheshwar. As we have seen, we share multiple rivers among us. The same river is somewhere becoming a point of challenges or a key fact of divergence in India Nepal good relation. And at last, security and political instability, where we recognize that we have Gorkha regiment and good defense tie with Nepal. At the same point of time, Agnipath related Gorkha recruitment concerns the Nepal's political instability complicates bilateral engagement. So, keeping in mind all these problems, what are the way forwards that we can draw in answer so that our answer becomes holistic? The first would be modernize bilateral framework. Engage with the group, eminent groups, report, review the 1950 treaty, and evolve a more equitable partnership framework. Next, institutionalize boundary and political dialogue on which there are multiple debates. Establish a permanent boundary mechanism and sustain regular high level diplomatic engagement over it. Deepen economic, digital, and connectivity integration. Expand DPI interoperability, BBIN, connectivity, fintech cooperation, and regional energy networks. The fourth would be strengthen energy, water, and climate cooperation, where accelerating hydropower projects resolve the issue of Pancheshwara and cooperation of climate resilience. Promote people to people centric diplomacy, where enhance educational, cultural, tourism, and subnational exchanges to strengthen grassroots ties. And at last, somewhere leverage the regional platform built for partners of equals to somewhere spread a idea that both the nations are equal, so that Nepali citizens don't have a trust issue over India, where they feel like they are not being treated as unequals like in case of China, but more equals when they are dealing with India. Use BBIN again, BIMSTEC to deepen cooperation while adhering to mutual trust, non-interference, and respect for sovereignty. As perception does matter. So keeping in mind all those way forward, let's now draw a balanced conclusion in short. The conclusion would be, despite periodic friction, India Nepal shared interests make deeper cooperation essential for regional stability, connectivity, and sustainable development. Yes, you might feel this conclusion is somewhere generic, but this conclusion somewhere complements all the points which I have stated in the body. So that is all from today's discussion. I hope this discussion was indeed helpful for your preparation. And if you feel so, I would like you to like this video and subscribe to Rice IS YouTube channel so that you get more updated videos like this. Thank you once again and keep preparing.